Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19 cousins. She's back, folks. She's back. Yes, we are talking about the one, the only, the completely objective, the always truthful, despite what it might cost her. Oh, no, wait. She said something true and then apologized to Cheryl Swoops for saying the truth. Scratch that one. But yes, we've got Elle Duncan spitting some knowledge for us. So they're talking about the MVP race. And yes, Caitlin Clark is in that conversation. And I'm going to kind of pick it up in the middle because her co-host here, what he's just gone through is he talked about a number of the things I've talked about previously. I talked about in the deep dive MVP video that I did the other day about Asia Wilson and the individual seasons she's having and the numbers that she's putting up, and then talking about how Caitlin Clark has elevated the play of the rest of her team. And he just went through how she's making her team better. And the team, you've got players that are scoring more. You've got the four players that have been consistently have started this year are all averaging double figures. You know, he's talking about players getting more assists and rebounds and all of that. And so we're going to pick it up right there when Elle Duncan finally gets to reply.
Because Caitlin Clark's value to her other teammates has taken the Indiana Fever from the second.
Well, I mean, they have to make the shots, though, Gary. Yes, like she's an incredible facilitator,
Correct.
but her teammates are making the shots.
Understood.
Conversely, Asia's teammates are not making the shots. That doesn't impact Asia's MVP resume. How does that impact her MVP resume?
Because Caitlin Clark is quite literally impacting the value of not just herself or her team, but her other teammates.
Oh my goodness. Let's dig in. And in a second, I will actually play that for you again. First of all, do you notice the difference in tones? Elle sure sounds like she's all up in her feels and has a personal stake. And she is offended. She is offended that he is making a case for Caitlin Clark as MVP. You can hear it in the tone of her voice. Holy hell, Elle Duncan. I don't know what's worse. That you actually believe this, which makes you completely and utterly incompetent and unable to talk about basketball, or that you know it's BS, but you've got some other personal reasons for why you want to dismiss the possibility of Caitlin Clark being MVP. They are making the shot. I've never heard such ridiculous. Oh, well, they have to make the shots. Asia's teams aren't making the shots. Since when is Asia Wilson a facilitator that gets a lot of assists? What are you even talking about? They're making the shots because Caitlin Clark has made them better as a team, has made them better players. She's added more value, and they're getting much better looks on their shots than they were previously. They weren't making them last year, Elle. The only addition to this team is Caitlin Clark, and they were 13 and 27 last year. I said this in a previous video that's probably going up sometime today. I don't know if it was before or after the one I'm doing right now, but we'll go with Kelsey Mitchell, how everyone is talking about. They're shifting the goalposts now, and it's because of Kelsey Mitchell that they're playing like this. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell is balling. Absolutely. But to that point, in her 7th season, and she's already been an all-star, and she's always been a scorer, including in college. She's averaging a career high in points per game this year at 19. Career high in effective field goal percentage this year at 54.4%. She's just off a career high in her three-point percentage, but she is at a career high in attempts and makes. She is at a career high in her field goal percentage and her field goal makes per game. As I just mentioned, the 4 players who have consistently started all the games are all averaging double digits. Aaliyah Boston has become the best passing big in the league. And you are seeing passes from Aaliyah Boston since the break that you did not see earlier in the season. You think that's a coincidence, Elle? Caitlin Clark leads the league in points and points assisted combined. She has the only 2 triple-doubles by a rookie ever. By the way, that's more triple doubles than 99.63% of all players in WNBA history. In the last, I mean, we could go on and on with this, with the numbers. We'll just talk about the elevation since the break. In the last 6 games, 24 points a game, 9 assists per game, 5.8 rebounds, 1.5 steals, 40.7% from three, which, by the way, is a full 3 percentage points higher than her college average. 62.2% from two in the last 6 games. And yes, she's shooting them. She's taken 37 two-pointers in the last 6 games, and she's hitting them at a clip of 62.2%. But again, what is most important, which is what he is getting at, what is most valuable about Caitlin Clark is that she makes her teammates better. Before I continue, I want to play this again because that's really important for you to listen to the things Elle Duncan is saying because they're absurd.
Double-digit assist because Caitlin Clark's value to her other teammates has taken the Indiana Fever from the second.
Well, I mean, they have to make the shots, though, Gary. Yes, like she's an incredible facilitator,
Correct.
but her teammates are making the shots.
Understood.
Conversely, Asia's teammates are not making the shots. That doesn't impact Asia's MVP resume. How does that impact her MVP resume?
Because Caitlin Clark is quite literally impacting the value of not just herself or her team, but her other teammates. They were the second worst team in the league, and now they're a team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs. The Las Vegas Aces are defending champs, and they have the same exact roster, but A'ja Wilson has to do everything. And the box score is indicative of that. So when you take a look at a most valuable player, it depends on what the value is, right? A'ja Wilson is the most valuable player because she fills up a box score and does everything. And
I would just say that's the only thing I really kind of disagree with him on. I guess you could say it's semantics, but I think it's really important when talking about most valuable player. Those things make A'ja Wilson someone you could call the best player, the best individual player, not necessarily the most valuable player.
it shows in her stat line. Great. Not taking anything away from that. Caitlin Clark does everything, not just for herself, but for everybody else on the roster.
There you go. Not just for herself, for everyone else in the roster. You know, I've watched this a number of times now to make sure I get the most out of it and I don't want to miss things. And you know that saying, that horrible saying is when there's a car accident and, you know, everybody slows down and you really don't want to look and you shouldn't look, but you look. That's kind of how I feel about this. This is a train wreck. The tone of Elle Duncan's voice, the things she's saying, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around that it's real, and yet I can't not watch. I can't turn away. It's fascinating to me what these people are doing to themselves out of this insane, irrational hatred or fear or whatever it is, jealousy of a 22-year-old basketball player that's never said a bad word about anybody. Look, Elle, the Indiana Fever are 18-16 right now and in the 6th spot in the playoffs. The Las Vegas Aces are only 1 spot ahead of them at the moment. No, I think they just passed Seattle. I'm sorry, 2 spots ahead. They are at 4 now. The Fever won 18 games the last 2 seasons combined. This is the same team that won 13 total games last season, except for the addition of Caitlin Clark. And meanwhile, the Aces, this is the same Aces team that went 34-6 last year and won a championship, and they've already lost twice as many games as that. The Aces have 4 players that have been top 5 MVP vote getters in the past few seasons. I think it's 4. Is it 3? Let's just check real quick. Yeah, it's 4. Kelsey Plum, A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. They've all been there. So yeah, you've got Kelsey Plum is averaging. She's off a little from last year, but she's averaging more than her career average. I think like 18 point something to 14 point something. But as you can see with Elle Duncan, they always have to move the goalposts. This is an embarrassing take. And I'm going to say it again. I said it twice already, but listen to her tone when she's saying these things. It's an affront to her for someone to even bring up the possibility that Caitlin Clark might be the MVP instead of A'ja Wilson. She's completely destroying any credibility that she may have had as a sports analyst, as a sports person, as a sports media personality, whatever you want to call her. But I also have to thank her because people like you who are listening right now are turning to people like me to get a different take, to hopefully get a more objective, a more honest take. Look, it's sports. Everybody's going to have an opinion, and that's fine. No problem. But can it be based in fact? Can you try and be a little objective in your analysis when you're on a show and you're talking about who could be the MVP this year, instead of making it sound like it's you and it's a personal attack on you for anyone to mention it might be somebody besides A'ja Wilson? Is that at all possible for any of these people to do something like that? Now, I'm not going to go into more detail about the whole MVP thing. I just did like a half-hour video on that the other day. You can go check out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Weigh in on the Caitlin Clark versus A'ja Wilson thing, but also more specific to this one is what you think of this take by Elle Duncan and what you think this is doing for sports media in general, for us to constantly see stuff like this when it completely contradicts what we're seeing with our own eyes when we watch these games. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help out a lot. We are closing in on 9,000. I think we've got fewer than 300 subscribers to go to get to that number. So that would be really amazing. I'm going to leave it there. Have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you later.